first we're going to be talking about a trend. It's called microblading. So
Microblading, I am so
we're not going to let you turn around
When
yet.
I first heard the term, and I am not joking at all, I thought it was a sport like rollerblading, but very, very thin wheels. That's truly what I pictured in my head.
I love that.
Loser.
Microblading got a ton of attention after actually Bella Thorne posted about it on her social media.
Right.
So what is microblading? It's basically a temporary, it's a semi-permanent tattoo that creates this very cool 3D effect on the eyebrows. So it's done using this handheld instrument. It's a very meticulous process where you're basically scratching or etching pigment into the skin in these fine lines. So each line represents a hair. It's semi-permanent too, which is key here, because when you think about brows, you know, the trends with brows, they change all the time. Like, I mean, Curtis, he's like rocking those bold, beautiful brows, right?
I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I used to pluck them I used to just have really thin ones, and I used to pluck them a lot.
And what if in a couple of years you turn to Rachael and you're like, you know, I want to channel my inner Kate Moss. Like, what a dilemma. What if I had a permanent eyebrow? No. You want microblading, because then you have a 1 to 2 year
How long
turn.
does it last?
1 to 2 years.
1 to 2, okay.
Yeah, it eventually grows off because it's not as deep as a permanent tattoo, right?
Got it.
Gotcha.
Okay, so this is Heather, right?
Lovely Heather. Let's go back to yesterday where you visited the eyebrow doctor, right, Perrette, who actually did the microblading procedure on you. So let's take a look and see how that went.
Really hope it doesn't rain today.
My name is Heather. I'm from Massapequa, New York, and I have not had eyebrows since I was 13 years old. I went to junior high school back in the 90s, and it was very popular back then, which is really ridiculous, is to tweeze your eyebrows so you basically have nothing left. Of course, I thought the eyebrows were going to grow back, but unfortunately, they did not. What I do now is I draw them on with just an eyebrow pencil. It doesn't always look so good. I absolutely hate not having eyebrows. People make fun of me all the time, my friends, my family. I've tried all different kinds of things. Tried gluing them on, I tried drawing them on, I even tried Rogaine to grow them back. Nothing's worked. I am tired of all these temporary solutions. I'm getting married next year. The last thing I want is one of my eyebrows to fall off in the middle of my wedding ceremony. If I had a permanent solution to having eyebrows, it would just make me feel more beautiful about my own self and just more comfortable with who I am.
My name is Perrette, and I'm a licensed esthetician and a tattoo artist. I do permanent makeup, and I specialize in eyebrows. Microblading is a form of tattoo, but instead of using tattoo gun, I use a hand tool, which is much more precise, and it's more on top layer of your skin, so it doesn't go as deep as the old school tattoo, and it fades faster, but it looks more natural that way, and it eliminates the risk of it turning odd colors over time. Today we're gonna do microblading on Heather. First, I'm gonna fill Heather's brows in with a pencil, so I have an outline where I need to do it, and we make sure they're even, that they're perfectly symmetrical, and she's happy with the shape of it. It looks a little scary, but it's gonna be a lot less once we're done. I'm using a topical numbing cream on Heather to numb the pain. The color I chose for her eyebrows is more cooler because she has a very yellow undertone, and I'm matching it to her existing eyebrow hairs that she already has. All right, you ready for some brows?
Let's do this.
The device I'm using creates natural hair strokes. I'm doing 2 full passes on the brows, and then I keep going back and forth, adding more strokes to make it look more natural. All right, we are all done.
So shall we reveal?
You want to
spin it around
for us? Let's take a look.
Woo!
So Heather looks
I
stunning.
think she looks great.
And this is actually more intense than what it's going to look like in about 2 weeks. So these brows are actually going to lighten up and look even more natural over the next couple of weeks.
It looks great. Look at this smile on her. Aw, you're so happy with it. I love them. And you know, it only took. She had quite an extensive job done, and it only took 1 hour. And you said it didn't hurt, right?
No, not at all. It just felt like tweezing your eyebrows.
Don't do that anymore.
Obviously, yes, obviously.
Okay, let's go on to Lauren, because we have 2 more guests waiting for us. Hello, darling. So what are we looking at here?
So Lauren decided not to opt for the microblading and wanted to try something that she could do at home. So what she did here was she actually used something called Etude House Tint My Brow. Now this is a like magical goop, and when I talk, it's like goopy goop. It's like really, really, really thick. So what you want to do is you paint it on.
It does feel very like goopy. Sorry to be
well, this isn't the
manhandling
final
your
result.
face.
This is not the final result. So she painted it on once, so you can see the difference between the two. It dries very quickly in about 2 minutes, but you want to leave it on from about 2 hours to overnight.
Oh my God.
Depending on how deep you want the stain to be. And then Lauren's actually a meteorologist, so this is like perfect for her, because you can imagine if she's out there reporting on the weather and she's in the middle of rain, she obviously doesn't want her eyebrows like dripping down her face. So we're gonna actually peel these off. Do you mind if I reach over here and start that process for you? So it's a little sticky at first, but you kind of try to get it going, and it's almost like, you know, that glue that's like that peely, sticky glue?
Oh, yeah.
It just sort of comes off, almost like a worm. Can you guys see that over there? It's like a gooey worm of goodness.
That's amazing.
And it leaves that tint. And this tint will last her 3 to 7 days. So she goes on vacation, she wants to go swimming, she doesn't want to deal with maintaining her brow.
Wow.
It's going to look like that.
Can I ask
That's
you a
amazing.
question?
Yeah, sure.
How much do both procedures cost?
That is an excellent question. So for microblading with someone who's really good, it usually ranges $700 to $900, but you need to maintain it every year. If you want to keep those brows, because the pigment, it's placed very superficially. Actually, that's something I wanted to talk to you guys about. Let's take a look at a picture of the skin, because I think it's really important to get this concept of just how deep that pigment is placed. In a traditional tattoo, the pigment is placed really deep down in the dermis, okay? So that pigment ain't going anywhere. That dye, you're stuck with that for life. But with microblading, it's actually placed much more superficially in the skin.
In the epidermis.
It's right at the junction between the epidermis and the dermis. It's right along that like wave formation.
And then for this, if you wanted to try this, it's
$11.
$11.